We definitely have the greatest producer there is. Ed just got us back on the YouTube channel.
Oh, thank you, Ed.
Thanks, Ed. Appreciate it.
No, I don't understand your point. I really don't.
The point is, most people consider Francis Ngannou, all right, how? Ngannou, the UFC guy.
And he is.
Well, he's not.
Well, he was.
Well, he was. But from a PFL standpoint, the PFL, even though they don't care, of course they want Francis Ngannou to win. But
look, when Mike Perry went to the BKFC, they called him the UFC guy.
Right, and nobody in BKFC wanted Mike Perry to win. I'm not talking about the ownership.
Okay.
I'm saying that.
Okay, so now you're getting to your point.
That was my point.
I have a point.
Counterpoint.
So not PFL, but how's it go?
Ngannou.
FL. Tom Brady is a 10% owner of the Los Angeles or Las Vegas Raiders.
Or Oakland Raiders, or Los Angeles Raiders, or
Las
Vegas
What are they going to
Raiders.
call it? Las Vegas.
They're the Las Vegas Raiders.
Las Vegas Raiders. So it is a 10% minority stake owner.
Yeah.
It was approved by the league.
Yep.
So
unanimous.
So isn't that a conflict of interest if he's like a broadcaster and an owner?
It is.
Is it?
And there's been rules put in place. Thanks for bringing it up. There's rules in place that there's things Tom Brady cannot do that other media can do.
Like be in your weekly draw, like fantasy thing with Ken Shamrock?
No, he can't.
And I won, by the way.
Yeah, of course you did. Because you can't do it.
He can't call a Raiders fight. He can't commentate on it.
I don't know if that is one of the things. I didn't see that, but he's like when they go into the meeting rooms and like the Monday night crew and stuff, he cannot do that.
Oh, because you have inside information, playbooks.
He can't do anything.
Wow.
So he can still call the games.
Yeah, because when you're talking to a coach and you're getting the game plan, he can go back and tell his team, his 10%
especially if they play.
Yeah. This is what they're planning to do.
Is that enough of a?
They're planning to double cover this person.
Listen to this genius. Hold on. Here comes it. Listen to this genius. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, my hands up.
Go.
My question is 10% equity stake of the Las Vegas Raiders enough? Because he's making like $300 million broadcasting.
Think about 10% of a football team. You know how much that costs?
Yeah, but you still own it. You still have to pay out. You got to buy the stadium. You got to pay for equipment.
What does the average football team go for, Randy?
Average or the number or the number one franchise?
The Raiders are not the number one franchise. But
is it the number one?
Well, the Cowboys.
Yeah.
So what is the average? $2 billion at least.
Easy.
So 10% of $2 billion is $200 million.
But he has to buy into it, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't he buy in?
Yes. So he paid $200 million.
Okay.
Well, we don't know that.
Own 10%.
We don't know he paid $200
He could have been gifted it, for all we know.
Yeah, it doesn't. What the contract was.
You see, but your question is moot.
Well, I'm just saying, like, would he make more money just broadcasting?
He is broadcasting.
So
he didn't lose his gig. He's still the number one broadcaster for that network.
Well, analyst. He's not a broadcaster.
Yeah,
he's an analyst. Yeah.
Well, to me, that's all broadcast.
Yeah.
All right.
And by the way, he's not even that good.
No, he's not.
He's not even that good.
He's great at a lot of stuff, but that's not one.
He's not good at it.
Pretty bad. It's hard to watch.
And I think I said this on the last show we did. He should have been a coach. He should have gone to be a quarterback coach somewhere.
Yeah, well, that ain't happening.
That's what he should have done.
Can he be an owner player like Jordan? Can he he play for the Raiders?
Yeah, he could.
Wow.
Yeah, I think technically.
Yeah, he could. Yeah, he could play for the. Yeah.
Because I heard he was going to go to Detroit. I heard he was going to be a.
What is wrong?
Who did you hear that from?
Well, myself.
Who did you hear that from?
Well, my producer.
Did your daughter tell you that Tom Brady was going to go play for the Lions?
She heard he was in the Canadian Football League.
But she was talking about the Lions from the Gladiator days, and he was going to go into the Coliseum.
Yeah.
What are you talking? You heard he was going into the Lions.
Just saying.
Who did you hear that from? I want to know who you heard that from. What is your source?
First of all,
can't give up my source.
Exactly. A good media person never gives up
I own
his sources.
10% of Knockout Radio. I'm not allowed to disclose my sources.
You know what?
You owe me $200 million.
Yeah. 200
monopoly money.
They're going to owe you.
200 million.
It's just as good as cash.
So we are going to do a contest.
If you can't be in it, though.
I'm not eligible.
Exactly.
Because this is a prize to give away.
All right. Can we be eligible?
No.
Dang it. I don't even know what it is.
All right. Yeah, you can.
Yes.
Yeah, you can. All right. No. Just to
we don't have any fans. To
register, You need to post a photo of you in the new 8-Man Strong breast cancer shirt.
All right.
And then we're going to have a drawing, and I'm going to give away one of the, I forget what number it is. It's Chuck Liddell, Randy Couture 3, 57,
Poster?
37,
Yep, 37.
something like that.
37.
We're going to give one of those away.
And they're signed by both gentlemen.
Yes.
Wasn't that 37 and a half?
No, 37 and a half was, do you know who it was? Who was 37 and a half?
Trigon Hughes, right?
No, it was Chuck Liddell and Babalu. It was at the Bellagio.
Wait, so Chuck fought in 37 and 37 and a half?
Would that surprise you?
Wow.
I remember Babalu, man. He was a bad dude.
Babalu, we got some Babalu stories. So Babalu and Joe Marquis have a relationship.
Really?
Yeah, they spent some time together.
Babalu's good. He's a good dude.
Behind bars.
Oh, nice.
And he wants to come on the show to let the what is it? Tell the story or let
Clear
the
the
record
air.
clear the
Yeah.
air.
Set the record straight.
Set the record straight.
Babalu wants to come on?
No, Joe Marquis. Joe could probably get Babalu.
Joe can't come on anymore.
Right.
He's a roofer. Like every roof in this.
Yeah, every roof in the whole West Coast is busy.
He's going to be the
He's
richest guy I know.
He's a part owner. He's a part owner. He don't get up on the roof.
He's going to own the other 90% of the Raiders.
I can't tell this on the air, but Google Willie Nelson joke about Las Vegas. It is the funniest joke you will ever hear, and very similar to owning a lot of things in Las Vegas. So you might want to Google that. Right now, we might want to hit this break.
Yeah, I hope my call-in comes up. If not, I'm still talking about it.
Do you have Blue Eyes Crying in the Rain by Willie Nelson? Because we can come back with that
Sure, I
song.
can find it.
Anything, but there's one Willie Nelson song that literally makes me throw up.
Wheels on the Bus?
On the road again? Yeah.
That was my breakaway song in the Navy. This is Knockout Radio, brought to you by 8-Man Strong, Staff Zone, and Bucked Up Energy Drink.
Never had to say goodbye. You must have known I would stay.
This is Joe Jurevicius, former Tampa Bay Buccaneer. You're talking sports with Randy Harris.
Ready to take charge of your day? Bucked Up Energy Drinks are taking over the energy drink market. Find them at Walmart, Publix, GNC, and Vitamin Shop. Real energy and real focus. Get bucked up.
Roasted Whisk Gift Box Company is an online specialty gift box company specializing in corporate gifting, creating a fun and unique gifting experience for your clients, vendors, or employees. Gift boxes could include specialty coffees or teas, mugs, espresso-infused baked goods, scented candles, and many more options. Check us out at roastedwhisk.com. Roasted Whisk on all social platforms.
8-Man Strong is not simply about the biggest or strongest. It's about those who have survived true lows, suffered, faced demons real or in their heads, and are fighting to come back against it all. If you live with a passion for greatness and strength and resilience towards all obstacles that may attempt to derail you, if you're bold and aggressive in the pursuit of the things you want in life, if you are meant to overcome everything that stands in your path of reaching your goals, then you are 8-Man Strong.
Experience the charming Country Depot gift shop located in the heart of downtown Brooksville, located at 36 North Broad Street. From sports memorabilia to antiques, from handbags to one-of-a-kind art and decor, the Country Depot has it all. Check them out at countrydepot.com, Country Depot on Facebook, or stop by the store at 36 North Broad Street in downtown Brooksville. Got bills and looking for work but nobody is hiring? Staff Zone is, as the leading provider of commercial construction, industrial, and special event staffing throughout the Southeast, Texas, Las Vegas, Salt Lake City, Kansas City, and many other locations. Staff Zone has plenty of work for you, and they need you now. Don't wait. Go to www.staffzone.com and find a branch closest to you. Work today, get paid today. That's the Staff Zone way.
This is pound for pound, the best fighter in the world, Floyd Mayweather, and you're talking sports with Randy, the best in the world, Harris.
In twilight glow I see blue eyes crying in rain.
Thank you for playing that and not on the road again. I appreciate it. I want to stand corrected. 37 UFC 37 and a half was Chuck Liddell,
Vitor Belfort.
Vitor Belfort.
Speaking of Vitor Belfort, he makes aqua aerobics fun. He's got like a whole bunch of like water weights that are resistant, so you can work out in a pool and add some resistance with easy on your joints. So I don't know if we can get him on the show. I'd love to try some of the products out.
I can get Vitor on the show.
Get Vitor. He's one of my Brazilian brothers.
Yeah.
Vitor, he and I, after he fought at the Affliction show, I forgot who he fought. Oh, he fought Fedor. He did a flying knee.
I heard that guy had a decent career.
He did a flying knee to Fedor, and Fedor did an overhand right and knocked him out. And then we went to the Denny's in Anaheim. That was the only place open.
That happens a lot. I met Sam Hoger at a Denny's in Miami after Matt fought Sean Shirk. You know why? It was the only thing open.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of the only thing open, Waffle House, notorious for staying open during hurricanes, boarded up and ran away.
Well,
a lot of locations gave up.
No, I saw a meme that said that you'll know you're safe if Waffle House is open.
Yeah, they were not open. They were not open. We were not safe last week. Like they were all closed. Yeah.
What was more ridiculous? The first ever lines for gas or the lines for the drive-through at McDonald's and Wendy's in the morning. There were like 50, 60 cars in line. And you know by the time you get to the window, the only thing they got left are flavored toothpicks.
That's the funniest thing I've ever said.
It's so true, though. Even yesterday, Chick-fil-A was closed. I went to a Chick-fil-A yesterday, and it was closed.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm a little. I wasn't going to bitch about it because there's bigger things to bitch about.
Which about?
I couldn't get my Chick-fil-A app to work to get my free Chick-fil-A last night when the Lightning won. You know, free Chick-fil-A when the Lightning win.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, but you have to open the Chick-fil-A app before midnight on game day.
Was there any free food?
Wait. Hold on. You expected Chick-fil-A to be open after midnight?
No. So stick with me here.
You said you have to. You said you couldn't get your free Chick-fil-A because you didn't open the app on time, and then you said you have to open it before midnight.
I didn't necessarily say it that way, but I couldn't get the app to work. You have to open the app before midnight of game day after a Tampa Bay Lightning victory. Then you have, I think it's the next day or 2 days, to go to Chick-fil-A and get. It was Chick-fil-A sandwiches. Then it became 5 of the little nuggies. But it's still Chick-fil-A, which is
amazing.
Hateful.
Very good. Chick-fil-A, they're not even a sponsor of the show, but I endorse Chick-fil-A.
I endorse anytime the Tampa Bay Buccaneers can play the Atlanta Falcons in Atlanta on a Thursday, which happened a couple weeks ago.
And we lost.
Because Chick-fil-A is not open on Sunday.
Well, no, Chick-fil-A was the halftime meal because it was Thursday.
Right.
So it was unbelievably awesome.
No, hold on.
Hold on one second. You brought up the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Well, you responded that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers lost to the Atlanta Falcons. I can't understand this football team. They looked so good.
Against the Saints, right?
No, they looked so good beginning of the season. I predicted they would lose to the Denver Broncos.
And you were right.
And I was right. Then they go up to the Atlanta Falcons, and they look like the team they were supposed to look like and let that game get away.
Yeah.
And then they go down, looked good for the first half, looked bad, but then came up to look unbelievably awesome.
New Orleans?
In New Orleans last week. What is up? What team is this?
It's it goes without saying. I hate to use this term, and I give you permission to hit me for saying any given Sunday.
Nope, don't believe it.
There you go.
Nope.
Any pro team can beat any pro team on any day.
Not true.
The ball can bounce a certain way.
Baker Mayfield looks so good against the Saints. He looked great against the Falcons.
Well, he didn't look great because he did throw some. Now, they wasn't his fault. 2 bounced out of the receiver's hands.
2 bounced, yeah.
But
and one was deflected.
Right.
But the whole game is play. Like, people have to make plays. They execute either offense or defense. So it comes down to matchups, and the ball can bounce a certain way, turnovers and such. It really can. Any given day, anyone can win.
I'm going to come up with another cliche.
Okay, where I disagree with that and then give you a cliche. Where I disagree with that, not any team can beat any team on any given Sunday. Okay. If you take, and Kansas City has pulled out some unbelievable great calls
They
for them.
followed the script.
Yeah.
The NFL's got a plan.
There was one that it was a blatant pass interference, and we were looking the other way. But give me whoever the worst team in football is.
Carolina.
Carolina could not beat the Kansas City Chiefs if they played them
On any given Sunday.
3 months in a row. On anything. Never.
No, you're right.
I think the Jaguars can give them a run for their money.
The Jags are not
Panthers?
bad.
They keep losing.
Yeah, I'm saying the Panthers. The
I'm saying the Jaguars are just as bad.
But they have a great quarterback.
That's it.
Yeah.
So
He can't catch the ball.
Right.
That's
He
true.
can't run the ball.
So
He
most
can't play
importantly-
defense.
But he can comb his hair.
Yeah.
He's got those locks.
Don't pay attention to the man behind the curtain over there.
Okay.
Did
The Wizard of Oz.
the real question is, did the 51 points get you a free meal from anywhere?
Exactly.
No, it's home games.
Ah.
I think they all do it. It's the home games. Now, the Bucks, if they have 10 first downs, you can get a free ticket to Busch Gardens.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
How do you know this stuff?
Well, because I live in the Tampa Bay area, and some of these things are promoted.
I do too, but I've never been to Busch Gardens. I've lived here for 4 years now. I've never been to Busch
Well, you
Gardens.
didn't have power all week because of the hurricane.
I didn't. But that has nothing to do with the 4 years before last week.
I don't want to go into.
You didn't have electricity before.
I want to be careful how I say this because I don't want to imply anything. But a lot of these freebies, like back in the day, the Rays had, if they did whatever, you got a free sandwich from Wawa. If you're hungry,
What's a summit?
sandwich.
Oh,
A sandwich.
Okay.
And I never went. And then all of a sudden, one time I was hungry and I happened to have the coupon. Have you ever eaten at Wawa gas station?
Wawas are great.
It's phenomenal.
Yeah. Wawas have the best Italian hoagies I've ever had. And I've had them everywhere.
You know what's better?
Everywhere.
You know what's better than a Wawa Italian hoagie?
I know.
I know you know.
I know.
What?
Geno's or Pat's.
No.
Cheesesteaks.
No.
You know what?
Philadelphia.
No. You know what's better than a Wawa Italian sandwich? A free Wawa Italian sandwich.
Okay, you got me there.
I thought you were going to talk about BKFC going to Philly.
Randy
and you-
won. No,
you posted a
Randy
picture.
just won the battle.
Randy
He didn't win the war yet, but he won that battle.
But they all do it. The Rays do it. The Bucks do it. The
No,
Lightning do it.
seriously, Matt, if you haven't had a Wawa hoagie, they're phenomenal.
They are.
Yeah, wait till the Thanksgiving sub comes out again.
Yeah, we
That's
have
incredible.
cranberry sauce,
Yep.
stuffing,
Yeah.
turkey stuffing, and cranberry sauce on a Thanksgiving hoagie at Wawa.
We are not going to Pat's and we are not going to Geno's
No,
in
we're not.
January. Just
We're
so you
not.
know.
We already heard that. BKFC owner.
Well, we got to try it ourselves, Dave Feldman. But we've
Yeah,
got to
Feldman said we're not going to either
But
of
you
those.
can't just fall into the sheep category and just not go because of the tourist trap. Because everybody said
No,
don't
that
go.
is the sheep
That
thing.
is the sheep.
No,
the
you
sheep,
gotta go.
the
You
sheep
gotta
go
try it
there.
for yourself. Then you
What do you mean? I'm from there.
Are you a cheese whiz or no whiz?
no
It's wit.
cheese whiz.
No
Are you wit
whiz?
or no wit?
Who
No.
are you people?
Oh, I don't like cheese whiz.
What?
No, it's got to be real cheese. That's why we got to go to the White House in Atlantic City while we're down there. The White House deli has the greatest cheesesteaks in all of the tri-state area. Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and New York. You go to the White House in Atlantic City, the best sandwich you'll ever have.
There's a
And
White House in D.C. that's not bad too.
there is.
There's a White House in Nashville.
Depends who's occupying
right.
it.
There's a White House in Nashville that Kid Rock owns as well.
If you go to the White House in D.C., you might get shot. Well, no, actually you won't, because the Secret Service has proved to be inept. Inept.
I'm not getting political.
Well, it was
That's not
nice,
politics. That's not politics. That's just
What's up, everybody?
talking about
What's up, everybody? We're live on the YouTube channel.
We are live,
Knock
coming
out
to
Renee.
you live from the Tan Studios in Clearwater, Florida. I'm Mike Straka, along with
One
Matt
team.
McClellan and Randy
Don't get
Harris.
my biblical name out.
Matt McClellan.
Damn.
A couple of UFC fighters in the third hour, Charles Johnson and Austin Lane. We're going to talk to him. So
And I got stuff to talk
you
about.
had a story to talk
Yeah.
about that your caller didn't call.
So look, so we're media.
Caller, are you there?
Listen, so I'm going to say some media things that might offend some of you guys, might ruffle some feathers
Here
in the
we go.
studio.
So you guys?
Well, I
Who
think-
are you to say you guys?
I-
Hi, this is Mike from Ybor City.
I am a-
Long-time listener, first-time caller.
I feel like I'm going to get my microphone muted. But look, this whole hurricane season,
Oh.
right? There was a media guy right? The media, Dennis Phillips, and there's meteorologists, and there's credible sources on network news that were given minute by minute, like round the clock coverage for the hurricanes.
All you had to do was walk outside. You didn't need to put the TV on.
But a guy named Mike's Weather Page, a guy who lives in Wesley Chapel, who has a beer called Spaghetti Plots, I think it's called, or Spaghetti Path IPA from ABC.
He must have got a free can.
No, but this guy has like 2 million followers and has become an authority.
YouTube University?
Huh?
YouTube University?
Yeah, he has a PhD from YouTube
But
University.
no, he's not a meteorologist.
Hang on.
The opinions expressed on the following show are not necessarily those of WTAN, its management, or its advertisers.
There you go.
Hold on. Or Knockout Radio, Randy Harris, Knockout
Or
Radio
Mike
on
Straka.
YouTube, or Mike Straka with one T.
Or Matthew McClellan, biblical name. But listen, but here's the thing. He has a voice, and 2 million people resonate with his message.
So what?
But they listen. He saved lives because people evacuated when he took it serious, when he boarded up his house. And so, but
that's just called an influencer.
But here's my
It's
point.
like your daughter wants to go and buy, what's it, drunk monkey? Drunk elephant?
Elephants are not
Drunk elephant. She wants drunk elephant skincare because somebody on TikTok said, let's get drunk elephant.
But here's my point. Fox's 13, Walter Allen, he was so quick to rush to a story that he posted about a dog that was chained to a fence and abandoned before the hurricane. And then he made an admission video saying he rushed the story. He didn't fact check it. He just put it out there. And he was really hard on himself. And I was like, look, what a hard job to be actual credible media, to have to be first to break the story, first to make sure it's factual, because of AI and all the content creators are putting out fake narratives, fake stories. You don't know what's real and what's not in the social media world.
But these same YouTube University people, and I hope it wasn't your guy, well, right after we got through with the Milton, they go, oh, here comes Nadine. It's coming up next. And actually, the real people that went to college and can write other than crayon,
the real meteorologists.
they had to come out and say, if you've heard of this Nadine, they're full of, you know what.
Yeah.
Right?
He's right.
But people don't know the difference. The line
No,
is so
but
blurred.
I know, but they're like, oh, I could have got it better if you would send me 1995 and click down below to donate.
Exactly.
That's my point.
No, what is your point? You were talking about this guy saved lives.
Well, he has 2 million followers, and he has a bigger reach and a bigger platform than credible media journalists.
Okay, that's correct.
And meteorologists.
That's correct.
Right?
Because Fox 13 has like 150,000 viewers a day, and you're telling me this guy has 2 million a day?
Like 2 million followers, yeah, and a beer sponsorship with.
So do those people that
Taylor
slurp
Brewing
their
Company.
food on memes.
Huh?
So do those people that slurp their food on memes.
Randy,
they got 2 million followers.
Punch me in the face as hard as you can.
That would probably be a good meme.
If Randy punched me in the face, it would go viral. Randy Harris.
Yeah, the aggressor.
You know what? I have a lot of haters. You might go viral by punching me in the face as hard as you can.
Yeah, but I have just as many, if not more.
Isn't that the dichotomy of what we do?
If I was to do that, I would imagine, and I don't want to exaggerate, you'd have at least 10 lawyers call you within 15 minutes willing to represent you for free.
Yeah. But my
Catania.
Well, my point is that it's so hard for credible media guys, because the whole art of this craft is to be first with the story, behind the scene, inside knowledge. You're the first one to break it to the people. But how do you break it if you don't know if it's credible?
But here's the thing. It goes back to Abdul. People break it because they don't.
It's clickbait.
Check it. It's clickbait. And then when they're wrong, they're not going to come and say, "Hey, I jumped the gun." They're just going to kind of let it wash away.
And the only reason why that Fox broadcaster corrected himself and retracted the story is because he's bound by FCC law. The guys on the internet, all these influencers on TikTok, they have no jurisdiction. They can say whatever they want.
And that's like why we're on FCC. I mean, people have said, you guys included, I want to continue and stay on FCC because to me, it means a lot. There has to be some form of credibility where if we just did it on YouTube, if we just did it on internet, we can say words that we can't say on FCC.
Well, I don't quite agree with that. I mean, are you saying Joe Rogan is not credible?
No. I'm not saying that at all.
But he's not on FCC.
But I'm saying but you can do things that you can't do on FCC.
That's correct. Yes.
Which to me changes credibility to some, not to all.
Well, I watch CBS News.
I
watch
weather dude.
I watch NBC News sometimes, and I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, what agenda do you have?
So on FCC,
even Fox News show. I worked for Fox News for 20 years. You can't say they're always credible, and then they say, oh no, there's opinion and then there's news. These are your opinion shows. So we could always say, Randy, we're an opinion show. We don't have to be credible then.
Yeah,
that's just my opinion.
Well, Matt's been involved in the show a long time, and so it is an opinion show.
No, but with the podcast and YouTube and the Joe Rogan's about to have Donald Trump and Kamala Harris on his network.
Not at the same time.
It's not a network. It's a podcast.
But on his platform to be a part of the political process.
Rogan happens to be very, very, very talented.
Yes.
And that's why people tune in, not because of his credibility. And he is credible. He's very responsible, in my opinion, except for the whole COVID thing. That was a different story.
But the ivermectin, you don't believe in the ivermectins?
I don't even know what that is.
It's basically a horse injectable that stopped the transmission of the parasite and just blocked it.
Just talk among yourselves.
No,
yes, we shall, apparently.
But I mean, they can do things that we can't do. Like they're doing the moon shots of medical mushrooms, and they're drinking and smoking.
Cobra blood.
They're doing all that stuff. But like FCC is still bound by the history from like the Tea Party when Mike was indoctrinated.
Do you know like the whole news industry has become nothing but a cash cow?
Yeah.
Now somebody from Skydance, what's his name? Larry Ellison's son. Larry Ellison owned Oracle. His son, who owns Skydance, is buying Paramount. And he has said that he's going to dismantle the news division of CBS.
I mean, but how effective is network media today? I mean,
you're right. It's not like it used to.
I don't get content from there.
There's no.
But they don't report the news anymore. They give their opinion of the news.
That's
yes.
right.
It's the same thing in sports. If you've got a sports radio show, and we just talked about the Bucks, why did they lose in Atlanta? Well, you could give your opinion. That's why they say Todd Bowles is a stinky head coach, and that's why they lost. Or you could say, well, they had a lot of injuries on defense, and at the end of the game, they couldn't buy a first down to kill the game. That's it. Period. If you can't get twice, go for a first down and get that first down, you're going to lose the game. I don't care what the score is.
I thought there was a new rule. There is a new rule in the NFL this year where they can instantly call down from instant replay. You don't have to throw. You don't have. How could they blatantly miss that face mask on Bucky?
But then the games would be 6 hours long if we started picking everything.
No, I get that, but don't we? And it's not
the same way they miss if they miss a call, if they miss a pass interference call, they can't rewind and go back to us. We'll be here all day.
But I thought that's what they added to correct some of that, so that
the
right team can win. Now Bucky got a face mask; he had his face ripped off. Might have caused the fumble, might not have. Changed that game. He doesn't fumble, most likely they win that game.
Right.
But okay, back to wherever you were born.
Did you see my post on Facebook about how I can make the NFL games shorter? Just name the plays after your sponsors. So instead of having 5 minutes of commercials every 2 minutes, just go, sit down, State Farm, Hut, Papa John's. That's it. You could save so much time.
So are you saying that
so much
Omaha
time.
Insurance
Yeah,
was paying?
Mutual.
I was going to say, didn't Peyton Manning already start down?
Right.
Mutual Omaha. Mutual of Omaha. Hut.
I'm just saying, like I myself, I don't watch local news.
I don't watch any news.
I don't watch any.
Everything I
Clearly,
get,
none of you people have anything smart to say. Nobody watches anything.
everything comes from
Law and
YouTube
Order.
or Facebook or Instagram.
Big, big Law and Order. You know what I just found out? Have you ever watched Law and Order?
Of course.
Okay. So Lieutenant, whatever her name is, Mariska
Hargitay.
And do you know who her husband is?
I do, but I can't think
Oh,
of
Mr.
it.
Miyagi.
Her husband,
Mariska Mr. Hargitay.
yes,
Mr.
exactly.
Miyagi.
Her husband he's on a lot of things, but he's on Blue Bloods and plays Tom Brady's baby mama's ex-husband. So if you've ever seen Blue Bloods,
I have.
okay, whatever her name is,
Her name is
I can't think of her name.
Erin Boyle.
Reagan. Yeah, Boyle. Right. Boyle. Right. So Mr. Boyle is Mariska's husband.
Really?
I just found that out. Okay. Back to
Well,
your regular program.
So he plays Tom Brady's baby mama's boyfriend, ex-husband on Blue Bloods.
Right.
Okay. I'm kind of.
He's the lawyer. He's the lawyer.
He's the district attorney.
No, he's just he's always the defense attorney.
lawyer. Okay.
Right.
Oh, I know. Yes, I know.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And it's not Erin Boyle. What's her name?
No, yeah, her name's Erin.
On the show, but not her
Oh,
real
yeah,
name.
that's not her real name.
Yeah.
She was on an episode of Regis and Kelly, Kelly and Strahan, Kelly and this, Kelly and that when I was there. And I was sitting next to all of her friends, and they're like, hey, do you want to come and meet her or whatever? I'm like, no, I'm going up to hang out with Regis.
I have to look it up. I can't believe I'm drawing a blank on her name.
All right, back to your whatever story you were boring everybody with.
It's not boring. I'm just trying to say that the world's changing immensely. It's changing fast.
Bridget Moynihan.
Credible networks, like networks like us, like FCC Radio, credible networks TV. They're all suffering because of social media.
Of course.
I mean,
yeah,
it's hard to keep track of what's factual.
Just like Sears closed because of Amazon and Kmart closed because of Amazon. It's the same thing.
You know what I noticed?
Because of Amazon.
No, you know what I noticed? The malls, when they lost retail stores because
JCPenney closed because of
direct to consumer, they've now become like wellness centers. Like if you go to the Wiregrass Mall, it's all health like businesses.
What mall?
Like Wiregrass Mall up by my house.
It's a long way to go on your scooter.
But it's
Wiregrass?
Wiregrass. But it's all like a healthy place like Jazz, Boxing for Fitness.
It's where you get wired.
It's
on grass.
Orange Theory Fitness. The whole place has turned into like stretching labs and places of healing. So it was big spaces that have now put an emphasis on people's health and longevity.
Well, but they still have the same exact goal as the retailers that were there before, which is to make money.
Yeah.
And Amazon will put them out of business
That's right.
too.
Yeah. Pretty soon we'll get our stretching from Amazon.com. You can get a stretch.
And if you got Prime, it's free delivery.
You can get it from me. I got a device on the back of my truck.
That's right. You can deliver it.
I can.
A same-day delivery from Matt McClellan.
I've been helping people clear out their homes that were devastated by the hurricane. People are really in a minimalist mindset. They don't want to rebuy a bunch of stuff. They don't want all this trash, like clutter. They're going simple, because they're going to have to rebuild their life. One GNAT by itself, you can still park your car, mounts flush to a wall, will never rust.
I do have a legitimate question.
Yeah.
Okay. And I was discussing this with somebody.
Bridget Moynihan.
So people that have lost everything in their house have thrown all of this trash, this garbage, their belongings that have been ruined
on their driveway,
which is legal for people to go through crap on the driveway. It's like going through garbage. That's why if you ever do a crime, don't ever throw anything in the garbage because they can go through your garbage. But people are getting violent at people who are looking through all the trash on the street that you have thrown in the trash to throw away.
Well, it's because they're emotional about it.
Yeah, I get it. No, I get it.
They're emotional. I have a similar, I got divorced and my wife sold my tractor to my next door neighbor. So after my wife and
my tractor?
Yeah. After my wife and children left the house, I went back to my house.
To get your tractor?
No, not to get my tractor. I just went back to see what my house, what was in it. I still had so much stuff in there. And my tractor was on my neighbor's front lawn for sale. And I walked up and I knocked on the door and I go, dude, that's my tractor. He goes, your wife sold it to me for $200.
Whoa.
I go, I spent $7,000 on that thing. And you're selling it? What are you selling it for? He goes, I'm selling it for $500.
Wow. So did you buy it back?
No, he goes, you can have it. You can have it. I said, you know what? Keep it. I was disgusted. I was so disgusted by it. But you know how hard I worked for so many years, and to go back and to see something that I worked hard for sale on my neighbor, like, oh, it just broke my heart.
No, I get it.
And you know,
And I said that.
divorce is terrible. Divorce is terrible.
Well, I know this. You're new to the area, Mike, but O.J. Simpson, at the end of his life, spent time in St. Pete. His daughter lives here, so I don't know if the other Isotonic Love is now at the curb. Maybe the storm they hauled the.
How do you make the juxtaposition? How do you do that?
Amazing how his mind works.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Like, how
Well, you're giving him credit that he has a mind.
I'm just saying. What if it floats away?
I'd like to get a look at that hamster up there.
What if it's there? What if
How
it's
do
on the
you
curb right now?
juxtapose me telling that story about my tractor
No,
to
we're talking about people stuff
Isotoner?
at the,
Your
at the
tractor,
curb.
your glove,
It's all
top
for
of
the
the
heart.
hour. This is Knockout Radio, brought to you by 8 Man Strong Staff Zone in Bucked Up Energy Drink.
Hi, this is Boomer Esiason. You're listening to Talking Sports with Randy Harris, so stay right there.
Got bills and looking for work, but nobody is hiring? Staff Zone is, as the leading provider of commercial construction, industrial, and special event staffing throughout the Southeast, Texas, Las Vegas, Salt Lake City, Kansas City, and many other locations. Staff Zone has plenty of work for you, and they need you now. Don't wait. Go to www.staffzone.com and find a branch closest to you. Work today, get paid today. That's the Staff Zone way.
8 Man Strong is not simply about the biggest or strongest. It's about those who have survived true lows, suffered, faced demons real or in their heads, and are fighting to come back against it all. If you live with a passion for greatness and strength and resilience towards all obstacles that may attempt to derail you, if you are bold and aggressive in the pursuit of the things you want in life, if you are meant to overcome everything that stands in your path of reaching your goals, then you are 8 Man Strong.
WTAN, Clearwater.
FM 106.1.
WDCF, Dade City.
FM 102.3.
Listen.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Cammie McCormick. On the campaign trail, the candidates are in key states tackling key issues. Kamala Harris is campaigning in Pennsylvania and was asked by reporters if she believes Donald Trump should have a cognitive test.
Donald Trump is increasingly unstable, and as has been said by the people who have worked closely with him, even when he was president, he's unfit to be president of the United States.
Harris will be joined today by Republicans backing her candidacy. Donald Trump in Florida will be appealing to Latino voters. At an all-female Fox town hall, he called himself the father of IVF.
We really are the party for IVF. We want fertilization, and it's all the way.
He announced in August that in a second term, he would ensure free IVF, but that provoked a backlash from more conservative Republicans. After pressure from the White House, Israel said today it has allowed more aid trucks into Gaza. Israel's UN ambassador at a Security Council meeting today.
The problem in Gaza is not lack of aid. The problem is Hamas, which hijacks the aid, stealing, storing, and selling it to feed their terror machine, while civilians suffer.
A former elected official in Las Vegas has been sentenced to 28 years in prison for the killing of a journalist. Christopher Cruz has that.
Las Vegas Review-Journal reporter Jeff Gurman was stabbed to death in September 2022. Robert Tellis denied killing the 69-year-old Gurman, but his DNA was found under Gurman's fingernails, and other strong evidence of his guilt was presented at trial. Tellis spoke at his sentencing hearing.
And I understand the desire to seek justice and have somebody accountable for this. But I did not kill Mr. Gurman.
Christopher Cruz, CBS News.
Natalie Morales reports there's a new push from the relatives of Eric and Lyle Menendez to change the verdict in their murder trial back in the 90s. They've been in prison for 34 years for the killings of their parents.
Their expected message that the brothers were repeatedly sexually and physically abused, and that's why they killed their parents.
President Biden is delivering the eulogy today at Ethel Kennedy's funeral. Former Presidents Clinton and Obama are also attending. Joe Kennedy III.
Mr. President, Mr. President, Mr. President.
we are grateful that you are here and to honor your friend. I can say without question that you were her favorite.
The widow of Robert F. Kennedy died last week at the age of 96. This is CBS News.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Looking for a career path with flexibility, great pay, and benefits? Go to progressive.com/careers and apply online today.
Tampa Bay's Tan Talk. Entertaining and informative radio for the Sunshine State.
This is Hall of Famer Deacon Jones, and we're talking sports with Randy Harris.
All right, we're back. Hour number 3 as we continue to get ready not only for UFC this weekend, but power in our houses in the Tampa Bay area. Let's go via the phone lines back to Las Vegas as we get ready for UFC Fight Night. And welcome to the program, Charles Johnson. Charles, how are you?
I'm doing great, man. How you all doing?
Not too bad. We appreciate your time. Just the start of your fight week. What's fight week like for you?
Man, mostly we're just focused on getting in our cardio and getting our weight down, man. All the work is done. So it's just workouts tailored to fight-specific things, a little bit of drilling, a lot of drilling, and going over what we did in camp, but mostly just getting our weight down, make sure the cardio is right, and make sure the legs are ready to fire.
I ask a lot of fighters, a lot of athletes this. During fight week, do you try not to think about the task at hand? I like to call it Christmas Day on Saturday when you get back in the octagon. Or do you want to think about it? Do you want to dwell on the job at hand?
Yeah, it's kind of hard not to. You know, once you get to Vegas, man, this is the fight capital, but I'm at the PI, I'm at the gym, I'm training, so you're thinking about the fight all week. But the moment I leave, I do a good job. I bring my girls with me, my wife and my daughter. She's 17 months, and I have my same team around me at all times. So I do a good job of just maintaining the same thing I would regularly do on a normal day, you know, being with the family and playing League of Legends, you know, and watching anime and watching funny movies and stuff and playing with my daughter, man. So I just keep it, when I'm out of the work time, I keep it to what I usually do.
Charles, we talked earlier about Cowboy Cerrone. Charles, we talked earlier about Cowboy Cerrone having so many fights, and he might come back. But you're the first guy to reach 4 fights in this year. This is your 4th fight in 2024 coming up. That's impressive. And is that a pace that you usually like to do?
Yeah. If you look at my average fight time since I've been in the UFC for the last 2 years, I fight every 81 days. And that's with a 7-month layoff when I had my daughter.
And you're 33 years old. I mean, you're not a young man in the sport anymore.
Yeah, but I got good genetics, you know. My dad's almost 60, still running around a track coaching athletes and stuff, you know. So I got good genetics, man. I feel really young, and I got into the martial arts when I was 21. So I'm not a lifelong martial artist. So my body's like, I'm always excited to train. I'm always excited to learn and do something. So for me, I feel really young in there.
Charles, let me ask you then, 4 fights this year. There's a lot of fighters that fight, once every 2 years. They can't get fights that quick. How are you able to do it?
Well, the main thing is you got to win to have the UFC want to put you back in there. When you lose fights, it's hard to get back in there unless you're taking opportunities and risk on yourself. So in 2023, that's kind of what happened with me. I was fighting with some injuries and hurt, but I was trying to get out of contracts, make a little bit more money. And in my mind, when I stepped into this organization, I said activity is longevity. So 2023, I had some losses, but I took a lot of risks, took a short notice fights to risk on myself. And I didn't come on a good end of those, on some of those. Some of them felt like I won. Some of them I just didn't perform as good as I thought I would. But 2024, I've been able to use those things that I from 2023, maintain my recovery in between sessions, fights, and just stay on top of my health a lot more. And I'm healthy now, so if I'm healthy and I'm training full time, I'm like, let me get in there. And as long as you win in the UFC, it's interesting to put you back in there.
So October, November, December. So around mid-January, you should be back in the octagon, right?
Yeah, and that'll follow my schedule from the last 2 years. So last year I fought in February 3rd, but the year before I fought on the very first card in January. up before the UFC, so it'll follow my schedule. I actually want to fight for a 5th time in 2024 as long as I'm healthy after this fight. I prepared to turn this fight into 2 fights. I trained to turn this fight into 2 fights, strength and conditioning wise. So my whole goal is to go out here. I'm focused on the task at hand, which is Sumu Darji on Saturday. But my whole goal is to be very dominant, go in here, win every phase of the fight, and ask for a fight on the last card in December in Tampa, because I just moved to Orlando. So it'll be a home fight for me, basically. And, we kind of got attacked by the Hurricanes recently, so I'd love to fight in Florida.
Well, we're a national program based in the Tampa St. Pete area. So, hey, we'd love to get you on our Tampa card and be, the Hurricanes hit us in the Tampa Bay area real bad. How was it in Orlando?
Hurricane, we just got like Category 1 and outer band stuff. So I was mostly worried about the tornadoes. It was over 100 tornadoes that day. It was kind of scary, but they stayed southeast, so we were good. We got power outage about 12 hours. Gas stations were down for about 3 days, but we stocked up enough. We had a generator, so we were okay.
So Charles, obviously everybody knows the UFC. We're a combat show. This is Knockout Radio. This is what we do. But we also cover Comic-Cons and all types of other anime events.
Oh, let's go.
And so I know from personal experience, my childhood TV shows and idols and things I looked up to have their lines and they have their fans, but it's always the anime characters or designers or creators that have the longest lines, the loudest crowd fanfare. So what do we need to know about the anime industry, noob in particular?
Hey, if you're not watching One Piece, you need to be watching One Piece. If you're not into old school, anime is just life, man. It's cool stories, so grown men love anime. Yeah, so it's just, that's my thing, man. I grew up on Saturday morning cartoons. I didn't have cable. I was a WB kid, so I was like Pokemon and, it's just been my life, Yu-Gi-Oh, things like that. So, if you're into Comic-Con, you're into anime, you're a cool person with me.
So do you go to the Comic-Cons? And the reason I'm asking, and I don't want to tell Mike this just yet, but if you say no or yes, I'm going to offer you Mike's credential that we go every year to the Comic-Cons in Orlando, the Comic-Cons in Daytona
I haven't
Beach.
had a chance to get to one, and last year I told my wife that was my goal to go to one, and then between fights and things, I didn't have the opportunity because I wanted to go to the big one. I think it was in Cali last year.
Right.
That was my goal, to go to that one. So this year I definitely want to go to one very soon. I've always wanted to go to one.
Charles, you want to go with me? I know everybody.
Yeah, okay.
You don't want to go with Randy. You don't want to go with Randy to Comic-Con. He'll have you standing on line for some guy who on Dukes of Hazzard show for the last.
There's a bootlegger. There's a moonshiner.
I have an apparel company now, and it's called Dokugami, and so I'm actually coming out with a rash guard. I just have my designer. We just made a cool, really dope rash guard based off of. I like the Green Ranger, and I call myself Spider-Man in the flesh. So we're doing a Marvel and Power Rangers collab with different Power Rangers and different Marvel characters. So this one that's coming out is specifically for me, but everybody's gonna love it because it's a Green Ranger and Spider-Man collab, rash guard and short set. And so then we're gonna come out with other ones. But yeah, so for me, I'm into all that shit, man. I'm doing it. I'm hitting on all phases. I play League of Legends. I'm big into One Piece right now. So yeah, I'd love to go to Comic-Con with either one of y'all and set up a table, whatever. I don't.
Well, I'll set it all up. We'll get you to all the Comic-Cons. And ironically, when I went, David Vieira just reopened his jiu-jitsu school in Trinity, Florida, and I got yelled at because I didn't have a rash guard on. So we're going to have to speak after your fight this weekend, and
yes, sir.
Maybe I will acquire one.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So Charles, I mean, obviously you're a fighter, a UFC fighter that loves to fight. You can tell in your voice 4 times a year, want to be 5. But when you talk about anime,
you could hear it in his
comes
voice.
through the sound waves, the speaker. You can just tell the passion's there, man.
Yeah, man. I'm big into it. I think it's life, man. I think you can learn a lot of lessons watching these shows. people see it as a cartoon, but there's just people who don't sit down and watch it. But I try to get my wife into it. She's not really into it, but my baby girl's been watching One Piece with me, so it's what it is.
All right, Charles, a little bit of business. What does Sue bring to the table that you have to worry about on Saturday?
Very dynamic, very rangy. He's a striker. He's very, very dangerous in the first round. Most of his finishes have come in the first round. He's got a lot of TKO and KO finishes. So I think as long as I'm very disciplined in the first round and handling range and dictating the range of the fight in the first round, that I'll be able to handle this fight with perfection. We don't know what we're walking into. We're facing a guy on a 2-fight losing streak. Could be his last fight in the UFC, so I may see the best version of the guy, and that's what I've been preparing for. I've been preparing to see the best version of Sumadarji, and I'm just really excited about that. I like fighting guys who I know are going to come after me. He has no choice but to come after me for his path to winning is to come after me and dictate. So I love that type of fight. So
Stylistically, you guys are very, very similar. So we could expect a stand and bang, really good stand-up fight.
Yeah, I mean, from what you've seen of me, yes. The thing is, I was an all-state wrestler in high school. I've been a blue belt in jiu-jitsu since 2017. I don't know what my belt is right now, but I've fought multiple black belts, never been submitted, and handle myself pretty well with the best wrestlers in this weight class also. And so for me, I feel like I'm just a more complete martial artist, and it's for me to go out there and dictate this fight in every phase of MMA. And I plan on my whole goal now. I want to break records. So like whether I go get an early knockout, whether I go get an early submission, whether I go get a significant strike record, I want to go in there and put on amazing performances where the UFC has no choice but to say, hey, we want to see this guy in a main event. And once I get to 5 rounds, I believe, and I know in my heart, I'm the best 5-round flyweight in the world. I was a cross-country athlete in college, Division I. And as the fights go on, I just push a harder pace. So it's just, for me, my whole goal has always been to get back to 5 rounds. So I want to go out here and make a statement with this fight and dominate. And then hopefully I can push for that fight night main event 5 rounds. And then I know from that point on, I'm going to be fighting for a title sooner than later.
I just had a nightmare. Just so you know that, Charles, as you were saying that, and you said you were a cross-country athlete. I was too. And I remember dreading the gun going off because that meant I had to start running. And I just went into a nightmare when you said cross-country.
Yeah, man. And if you ran cross-country and you did track and you know running, then you know that my whole goal is to draft guys. And I push a pace and I draft them. And then when they start letting off that pace and they can't keep up with it, I take it to that next pace.
Absolutely.
I do about a 5:45, 6-minute pace, and then I hit it 5:30, and then I hit 5:15, then I hit 5 minutes, then I hit 4:55 as the fight goes on. And I'm just pacing the whole fight out that way in my mind. But it's just something I naturally do, and I can feel it, But if I can describe it in running terms, that's what it's like when I fight.
So now that you live in Orlando, you're going to need to sign up and register and run the Orlando Walt Disney World Marathon.
Yeah, I'm not doing no marathons. Fuck that.
He said truck. He said truck that.
In college, I was waking up running at 4:45, 5 a.m., doing 11, 12 miles a day. I don't miss that shit. But marathons for is I've always looked at those like torture. Like 24 miles, 25 miles, I'm good, bro. Y'all got it.
No kidding.
I'll do it. I am going to do one before my life's over, but I'm going to wait until I'm done fighting.
I always said I wanted to do a triathlon, but now that I'm very old, that has already swam away. But let me ask you this.
That makes a lot of sense to me because as a cross-country athlete, before I got into fighting, when I was 18 and I was a national champion AAU in track and field, for the 3,000-meter run, and I was a runner-up nationally in the steeplechase 2 years in a row. I was 2-time national champion and 2-time runner-up in the steeplechase 2 years in a row, 2008, 2009. My mind was, before I got into fighting, was if track didn't work out, I was going to get into triathlon. So when you say that, yeah, I've thought about that for a long time as well.
Very cool.
Well, it's not the 26.2 miles. It's the 0.2. Right?
Yeah, right.
The first 26
Right.
is easy,
Nothing.
right?
Right.
Charles, I just want to know who in your weight class was your biggest inspiration when you were watching UFC before you got in, when you were running track and you were a world champ, a national champion in college. Who was your inspiration? Who did you look up to in your weight class?
I didn't look at any of the guys. I looked at them like competition, honestly, and but I watched Mighty Mouse because at the time he was the staple. Obviously, he broke all the records. He had all the belts. He was beating everyone. But I was like, man, I can fight with that guy. I see where I could have success with him, and I would love to challenge myself against him one day. And I still feel that way. I think he's the best ever at the weight class, and I think that I would put on an amazing fight with him, and I have skills that other people don't have. So as a competitor and a guy in the weight class, I always felt like that. But the people I looked up to when I got into MMA, I got into it late. So Dominic Cruz was good at the time, and I like Carlos Condit actually, and and I was also a fan of obviously John Jones, but Anderson Silva at the time, just like the main staples, because I was like a newbie to the sport, right? I got into it really late, but it was right when WEC and stuff, all those champions was coming into the UFC and started becoming champions. I didn't know much about Aldo at the time, which is funny, but my friend who got me into MMA, his favorite fighter was Aldo. And when he did his walkouts, it's always the same song that Aldo did. He had like 50 amateur fights, really good as a professional too. But yeah, those are about 3-4 guys that I watched. Dominic Cruz, Carlos Condit, John Jones, Anderson Silva. Were the people
Well,
that I
Charles,
watched.
one of the guys from the WEC, I always say, is the most successful person outside of the cage, and that's Uriah Faber.
Yeah.
That guy, what he did outside of fighting is just incredible.
Yeah, and I'm fighting him this weekend. You know, he's Sumandar's coach. And so I think that that'll be a nice feather in my cap to go against that lineage and that guy who's been a part of the sport for so long and impacted it so much. It's a challenge. I'm very much. I feel like I'm fighting him more than I'm fighting Sumandarji, and so I've really been focused on Uriah and watching some of Uriah's things and thinking about his ideology of fighting too, more so than what Sumandarji is bringing to the plate. I feel like at the end of the day, I'll be fighting him more than I will be Sumandarji.
My good friend Eve Edwards used to tell me all the time, when you get into fight week, the preparation, and you've already said this as well, is done. Christmas is everything you worked for is Saturday. So have fun on Saturday. Get back to Orlando. Let's touch base. We'll get you to all those Comic-Cons. I know that we got your address. We're going to send you a care package from 8 Man Strong, as well as some gear from Bucked Up Energy Drink. But once you mentioned that you have a daughter, I have since added another sponsor, and they're called Fantasy Pets. And they make these dragons out of the 3D printers. And I'm going to make sure that they send one of those for your daughter as well.
Oh, yeah, she'll love that. She's into all that stuff.
Good stuff. Enjoy the week, Charles. Have fun on Saturday, and we'll talk when you get back to Florida.
All right, fellas. Thank you for your time, man. Y'all have a blessed day.
You as well. That is Energy. Was going to get to him and ask him about that, but I'm sure that we know what the G means.
You know what? That was a cool dude.
Good guy.
I can't wait to meet him in person. That's a cool dude.
Well, or in anime. You can meet him both universes.
Well, he'll get your credential. You'll buy a ticket, and you can meet up with each other. All right, let's go catch up. Let's go hit this break, coming to you live from the Tan Talk Radio Network studios. This is Knockout Radio, brought to you by Staff Zone, Bucked Up Energy Drink, and 8 Man Strong. We'll be right back.
Hey, this is Uriah Faber, and you're listening to Talking Sports with Randy Harris.
Got bills and looking for work, but nobody is hiring? Staff Zone is, as the leading provider of commercial construction, industrial, and special event staffing throughout the Southeast, Texas, Las Vegas, Salt Lake City, Kansas City, and many other locations. Staff Zone has plenty of work for you, and they need you now. Don't wait. Go to www.staffzone.com and find a branch closest to you. Work today, get paid today. That's the Staff Zone way. Do Do you have a sinkhole problem? Call APD Foundation Repair. Do you have cracks in your walls? Call APD Foundation Repair. Water pooling in your yard? Call APD Foundation Repair. This is Randy Harris, and I'm so glad I made the call to APD Foundation Repair at 352-200-9740. APD Foundation Repair services the entire state of Florida and provides free inspections and estimates. With the A+ Better Business Bureau rating, it's a no-brainer. Give APD Foundation Repair a call today at 352-200-9740.
Experience the future of home comfort with Cool Breeze AC. Call them today at 727-954-3605 and let Mitch, Jimmy, and their team transform your living space into a haven of comfort.
This is Randy Harris for Mick for Hair at Got Split End Salon in Pinellas Park, our official hair care and grooming provider who caters to everyone, women, men, kids, and senior citizens in an affordable, upscale environment staffed with the most talented professionals in the business. Visit Mick for Hair at Got Split Ends today at 4376 Park Boulevard in Pinellas Park, or call them at 727-290-9873.
You're hungry. Where do you go to eat? Berg Sports Bar and Grill. You want to have a drink? Where do you go? Berg Sports Bar and Grill. Having a get-together with the guys from the softball team? Where do you do it? That's right, Berg Sports Bar and Grill. Located at 1320 Central Avenue, St. Petersburg, right across from Tropicana Field. Berg's is the best place to take the whole family for food and fun. Going to a Rays game? Have dinner before the game at Berg's, and after the Rays win, come and celebrate with all your friends at Berg's, right across from the Trop. So come down and see Berg and the whole gang at Berg Sports Bar and Grill. Berg Sports Bar and Grill.
8 Man Strong is not simply about the biggest or strongest. It's about those who have survived true lows, suffered, faced demons real or in their heads, and are fighting to come back against it all. If you live with a passion for greatness and strength and resilience towards all obstacles that may attempt to derail you, if you're bold and aggressive in the pursuit of the things you want in life, if you are meant to overcome everything that stands in your path of reaching your goals, then you are 8 Man Strong.
Hi, this is Herschel Walker, and I'll tell you, everyone out there listening, y'all need to listen to Knockout Radio.
Hi, we are back coming to you live from the Tan Talk Radio Networks. This is Knockout Radio. That's probably one of my favorite liners. You know, it's not the Hulk Hogan. It's not the Randy Savage. This is Herschel Walker telling everyone who's listening, listen to Knockout Radio. We're talking sports, whatever he said. Well, if he's listening, you don't have to tell him to listen. I love it. It's outstanding. So
that's very superfluous. Literally.
Yeah. Randy doesn't know big words.
Words
are hard. We have a game. It's called Words Are Hard. And
it's that was just a little hyperbole. That's all.
Words are hard. The game is at the Cool Breeze broadcast facility. And I think maybe next week we're going to have a get-together, the team, and we're going to put that studio back together so that we can get everything rocking and rolling.
Sounds good.
We are broadcasting live again on the Knockout Radio YouTube channel.
I have a couple points of interest.
Hand is up. Austin Lane coming up at the bottom of the hour.
Valentina Shevchenko becomes the first UFC fighter champion to earn all 8 rubies that adorn the UFC championship belt. Did you know that?
Oh, very nice.
I did not know that, but good job.
And then a rest in peace is in order for Chris Hovan's dog. His best friend passed today. So shout out to the Hovans, great friends of the show, obviously. And he just took to social media, let him know that his best friend is no longer here.
Sad. Sorry to hear it.
You know that Austin Lane was a football player?
Yeah, I did.
Wow. He was a Jaguars.
He was a Jaguar, I believe. I'm looking at it. He was also with the Chiefs.
Yep. And the Lions and the Bears.
Oh, my.
And Tigers.
And
and I was going to ask him because I remember talking to Greg Hardy about it. And I remember talking to my very good friend, Marcus Jones, and I had a little something to do with him getting into MMA and training with Rob Kahn. And he was on The Ultimate Fighter, fought at UFC 100. At what point will media stop bringing up that you're a former football player?
Never.
When it's first, at some point it does.
No, because the NFL is the pinnacle of professional sports. We all have to agree on that.
It is the number one sport. No, for sure.
Yeah. So if you're a former football player, that means that you're already an amazing athlete, and now you've chosen to go beat people up in an octagon
at the elite level.
Yeah.
So you're at the elite
Right.
NFL
Yeah.
football level, which is the NFL. Could have been arena football. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Could have been Canadian football. Could have been Australian rules football. Whatever. But the NFL is the pinnacle,
It's
and
the
now
pinnacle.
to be at the pinnacle of the UFC.
I mean, like Charles Johnson just
Diving of everything.
told us he was a national champion in cross country. Like, that's an athlete, man. They know how hard that is. You ran cross country.
I was going to make some kind of funny, and then I was like, we don't know him yet, for me to make like a joke about cross country. I hated cross country. I absolutely hated
Well, when you
it.
start talking about 5-minute splits or pushing the pace, I was like, Randy couldn't drive a mile in 5 minutes.
No, but also what he was
No,
like
there's not many people that run 5-minute miles.
But he made the analogy. He drafts his runner, then he takes it down to 4:55. He said, and that's a great analogy for fighting. Like, you're just waiting for the guy to lose his steam, and then you're going to go ahead of him.
Well, there was just a fight. I don't remember which champion it was. I think it might have been Alex. That he knew that he needed to take him into the deep waters.
Water,
and he lost the first couple rounds or whatever.
Yeah, it was the last Alex fight. You're right.
But another MMA guy, Brennan Kelly, USA Cyan, he actually holds a Guinness Book of World Record for running a mile backwards at 5 minutes and 53 seconds. Backwards.
Why do people do weird things?
And how do you know that?
Because I train him. He's been on the
Well,
show.
of course he trains.
I mean, it's one of my people. I train elite people. One person I haven't trained that's an elite guy who lost his Mr. Olympia title this weekend, a local guy, Derek Lunsford, took third place in the Olympia competition in Vegas. The new Mr. Olympia of the world is Samson Dauda from South Africa.
Wow.
And number 2 coming in, Hadi Chopin.
Was Arnold Schwarzenegger Mr. Olympia?
He was there, but he gave out the award, but he was 7-time Mr. Olympia.
Wow.
Schwarzenegger.
7 times.
7 times your best physique on the planet.
That's crazy.
But it's a hard sport. I mean, these guys are taking so much gear, so much, they're messing with their hormones, they're wearing out their joints. The longevity and the life after the sport is hard. I mean,
Well, the life after MMA, the life after NFL.
Yeah. Yeah. Anything at the extreme level.
Even NASCAR. I mean, how many guys retire from NASCAR and
Yeah, I mean, I saw them at the.
They can't stand.
Well, I saw them trying to drive, and they didn't know how to do a stoplight when it went out.
They didn't know how to turn right.
Yeah, they didn't know how to turn right.
Like, can you imagine riding a bull for a living, being a professional rodeo person? Like, can you imagine the damage you do to your body?
Sure. No, I can't imagine
your
it.
back, your knees, your neck.
Speaking of bulls,
or the rodeo clown,
the BKFC held their fight in Maribel, Spain, in a bullfighting arena.
That happened already?
That happened already.
It was over the weekend.
And
I totally missed that.
David Mundell, the redneck, retained his title and
calling out Mike Perry again.
Looks like Perry's got a couple battles up coming.
Yeah. Yep.
Must be nice when people keep calling your name out.
Well, Mundell told me at the Perry, fight, the boxing match, he goes, he's going to have to fight me now. He's going to lose to the Mickey Mouse guy, and then he's going to have no place to go but to fight Mundell. And to be honest,
can't call Jake Paul the Mickey Mouse guy. That's so disrespectful.
First of all,
so disrespectful.
I repeated what Dave Mundell said. And it's not that it's being disrespectful. They that's where they came from, the Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, but like Justin Timberlake came from Mickey Mouse Club,
and they say it. And they say that.
But
it's not
come
being
on.
disrespectful.
He's a legit boxer. Has been training with the best people in the world for over a decade.
You know who I would call out for my next fight? Donald Cowboy Cerrone.
I still wouldn't watch it.
You wouldn't watch Cowboy beat me up. You wouldn't watch Cowboy beat me up.
No, I wouldn't watch it.
You got to be kidding me. You wouldn't pay to see me get my ass beat?
No, first of all, you can't say that word. But second, no, I wouldn't pay to watch it. I'm not sure I would watch it for free, but I definitely wouldn't pay to watch you fight or Donald Cerrone.
Wow.
And I'm not taking anything away from Donald Cerrone, and I want him to go make more money if he can. And, he's one of the guys we've always been told that spent it before he got it. And he's got the farm, and he got bikes for everybody to go riding when they come to the farm, and blah, 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 blah. He's lived life awesome. One life, get going. But I would not pay money to watch Donald Cerrone or Tony Ferguson fight.
But I would pay to watch him race those like extreme buggies and
upside down.
Yeah,
as long as they do the upside down
he
thing.
does the Baja racing.
There's guys that, and this isn't being disrespectful for the two.
It is.
It
not. Absolutely is.
I have zero interest in watching somebody. They're not even at the end of their career. It's past that.
So can we have a special division for retirees?
They had a fantasy baseball league that didn't survive either. It was the same thing.
If Randy Couture came back to fight, you wouldn't pay to watch him.
To fight Chuck.
No,
Chuck and Randy fought.
That would never. They've already. That would not happen.
Come on.
No.
You wouldn't go.
No. What if Randy Couture came back to fight Francis Ngannou?
Oh, God.
Or as you would say, Ngannou.
Ngannou. I'd watch him fight Ngannou. I met him at Adam Hunter's show. Francis Ngannou is a pretty cool dude. But no. And I would want Randy to go do it, even though I know he wouldn't. He already has said that. Make money. People gave Tito Ortiz crap for when he fought Chuck Liddell, when he fought Anderson Silva. It's not a money grab. It's going to work. It's no big deal. It's no different than anything else. But doesn't mean that I would pay money to watch it, get in the car and have Matt drive me there, or get on a plane and fly there.
What if we got you a limo to pick you up?
No. Would you watch?
I know a guy with a limo.
Would you watch
Lloyd Christmas?
Would you watch Tom Brady play quarterback for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers?
No, because Baker Mayfield's better.
Wow.
What?
Ed, take us off air. That's it. It was a great run.
What did you
We'll
just
see you on
say?
YouTube. Find us at anime.com.
Did you really mean that, Randy?
Oh, my God.
I'd rather watch Baker Mayfield play.
I would rather watch Baker Mayfield play too. However,
how ironic you brought up NFL.
But however, I wouldn't
Can we get to the
say.
phone lines?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
Jeez.
UFC Fight Night this weekend continues. Let's welcome to the program, talking some NFL, former NFL player, Austin Lane. Austin, how are you?
I'm doing well, man. How you guys doing?
Not too bad. We appreciate your time. Talk to us. What's fight week like for you?
Man, fight week's pretty chill, honestly. I've been busting my in camp for the past 8 weeks. Mostly been in Las Vegas training here. So now it's kind of weird just to kind of, unwind a little bit and have a little more free time, not getting punched in the face from Sean Strickland and company. So it's just been chilling, man. It's been good though. Obviously going through the game plan more. It's more like a dress rehearsal now, but obviously all the intensity stuff's gone, and now it's more of just kind of more getting that mental game.
So I asked the guys this earlier. A lot of friends of mine have played in the NFL, have dabbled in MMA, have made it into the UFC. One being Marcus Jones, fought at UFC 100, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Recently, Greg Hardy. When do we stop talking to you about your past in the NFL and center on the future, the MMA, the UFC career?
Yeah, obviously it's got to come with wins. Right, because eventually it's my goal to get to the point where people forget that I was in the NFL, right? Where it's just like, wow, this is a big dude who knows how to throw punches, who has a really well-rounded game, and the NFL is all secondary. I understand, like, former NFL player gets the people to the TV, right? It's a story. The UFC loves to tell stories. My goal is that when my career is done, the story is going to be, wow, what a great fighter he is, and not so much of what his background is of playing in the NFL.
For sure.
Austin, 6'6", 265. That's the heavyweight limit is 265. Do you have to cut weight to get there?
No, I'm probably like around 250 right now. 265 was more of like my amateur MMA days and my NFL days. Eventually you have to start adding cardio to the repertoire when you get to the MMA scene, as opposed to NFL, where you prepare your body for maybe a 5 to 7 second play of nonstop explosiveness,
right? Yep.
And then you get a rest. You're not going to get a 7 second rest in an MMA cage, right? It's going to be 5 minutes. So weight's been down a little bit, man, but that's exactly where I need it to be.
All right, so this will be hopefully the last NFL question. Compare the spreads at the NFL complex and there in Las Vegas at the Performance Center.
Oh man, good call. Well, I was there when Shad Khan came in, and he didn't spare any expense there, man. So we're talking like filet mignon. We're talking about some lobster tails and everything. Not to knock the UFC or anything, man. I'll tell you a quick story. I was in Kansas City, and that was like the Hunt family, and they always had like one special night during training camp where they had like all you can eat lobster. And it was really my first time where I actually got to experience like all you can eat lobster. So I downed 8 lobster tails with butter, went to bed, didn't really sleep, and then had to get up at 7 o'clock in the morning and go practice. Needless to say, was not my best practice in a Kansas City Chiefs uniform.
That's funny. Another correlation similar. I'm curious, in the NFL, which I'm against, never played in the NFL, but I covered the Bucs since 1985. The rookie, I don't want to use the H word, but I was in the military as well. So hazing, where you go out and the number one draft pick gets this $65,000 tab where everybody, goes and eats and takes advantage of them. Is anything like that similar, but obviously not as bad in the MMA/UFC world?
Nah, man. I mean, as far as hazing is concerned, it's nothing really that bad. Like, you're talking to a guy who came out in 2010 in the NFL, so like hazing was still a thing. So I got tied to a goalpost, got my eyebrows shaved, got covered in baby powder, and then obviously had to spend some money at the rookie dinner as well. None of that has really happened in the MMA world for me. I'm not sure if people are afraid to tie me to like a cage or like pour baby powder on me, but I'm not hating on it, man.
But I'm sure you didn't get the haircut like Tim Tebow.
Didn't get this. So this is a thing. So I had dreads, right? So there was a choice. Either you shave your eyebrows or shave your dreads. Wasn't going to shave my dreads, so I ended up shaving my eyebrows. And yeah, man, it wasn't a good look. My girlfriend at the time, I felt like was probably going to leave me. But thankfully, man, we worked through it, and was what it was.
That's awesome.
So Austin, obviously you've been in the league long enough and a fighter professional long enough where you actually earned the blue check mark on your social media. I assume you don't pay $15 a month to have your verified, but does it piss you off that anyone, any influencer, any person can just pay for the same thing you earned with blood, sweat, and tears?
I mean, listen, man, like, but this is when Elon kind of took over stuff, right? Because I used to have a blue check mark on Twitter, and then, he started charging people with, I don't know why, bro. Like, you got all the money in the world. I think you're just bored. So, like, I don't have a blue check mark on Twitter, but I do have one on Instagram, and I don't know how that came about, honestly. I mean, I guess somebody Googled me and they gave me the blue check mark, but man, I always say I'm kind of like the anti-influencer influence. Like, I don't pay a lot of attention to social media because it's just not my style. I'm a little more old school and everything. But hey, if you want to spend $15 to make yourself look more legit, more power to you.
Well, you probably got that blue check mark because you're 6'6" with no eyebrows.
Man, hey. Listen, I try to delete all those pictures off the internet, so hopefully there's nothing out there with that. But I'm not sure.
Austin, in all seriousness, to be an NFL player, you have to be the most elite athlete. And to be a UFC fighter, you have to be the most elite athlete. How much longer can you continue being the most elite athlete? How much mileage is on your body?
Yeah, I mean, when you talk about mileage, I've played a lot of football in my life. We're talking about my freshman year of college. I started for all 4 years. Only missed one game. Didn't really come out. So there is some mileage on my body, but I always say it like this with MMA. You can't play fighting. You can play football. You can play basketball. So I almost consider MMA more like a lifestyle. And that's why I've kind of fallen in love with it, because I dedicated my life and the way that I live my life to this sport, whether that's eating healthy, whether that's taking care of myself, staying in shape, doing all like the small things to make sure that your body's in tune. So if you're asking me, I'm 36 years old right now, but I always feel like age is a state of mind, man. And as far as I can keep on staying healthy and avoid injuries, I don't have a set date in mind. I'm just going to go till the wheels fall off.
Dude, for one of the biggest, scariest people I've ever seen in my life, you're the coolest dude. I want to meet you. I want to hang out and have a beer with you. You probably don't.
Hey, man, that's always my goal, man. Like that's me, because dude, I'm from Wisconsin, right? So like anybody that says that they want to have a beer with you, it's like the ultimate sign of respect, man. So I appreciate it. Yeah, maybe one day we can.
You gotta be careful, Mikey, because with no eyebrows, you don't know if he's mad at you or he's surprised, he's happy.
Oh, dude, trust me. When I have no eyebrows, like there ain't a line for like is this guy cool or not? Like I look like an absolute psycho. I was like between like The Predator and Powder. And you remember that movie Powder?
Yeah, I know that movie Powder. I remember that movie.
Yeah, man. It was somewhere between that and Predator. I don't know.
Let's talk for a second on Saturday, getting back in the octagon. Thoughts on the opponent?
Yeah, obviously I'm going against the opponent that's a very decorated striker, and he's going to try to knock me out. I think if you look at my game and my resume, obviously I can come bring the knockouts as well, and I think I'm a little more well-rounded. So the big focus of this camp has just been patience. Seeing the shots as they come and then taking the opportunity. A lot of this fight game, man, like, yeah, you guys are all enthralled with, 6'6" and these heavyweights, but it comes down to, mentality more than anything. And that's been the big focus of this camp. So I'm just going to be patient, man. When the opportunity presents myself, I'm going to take it, man. And I'm going to go get out there and get my hand raised.
How difficult is it, as you're saying, he's a striker, you're more well-rounded. Good friend of mine, former UFC fighter George Gagel, an 18-degree black belt, but he would always stand with his opponent because he was trying to prove a point. Trying not to prove that point, you're well-rounded, maybe not stand so much.
No, for sure, right? I mean, that's obviously a possibility. I'm not trying to turn this fight into a fight that you see at a Waffle House at 3 o'clock in the morning like you see with heavyweights, because that's the way heavyweights kind of operate sometimes, man. But I always take pride in being more of an athlete. I am a heavyweight, man, but I can move like a featherweight. So plan on seeing some of that as well. And once again, being patient, and wherever the fight goes, I'll take it.
Well, I just found something scarier than Austin Lane at 6'6" with no eyebrows. It's Austin Lane on skates, moving fluidly like a featherweight. Talk about your skating cardio, like your conditioning. Did you play hockey, or do you have aspirations to play?
Oh, yeah, man. Someone's doing some Instagram research. Yeah.
At least he's good at something, Austin. At least
no, for sure. So actually, hockey. So being from Wisconsin, hockey's it's kind of like a rite of passage there. Hockey was actually my best sport growing up. Unfortunately, super pricey, and where I lived at the time, I would have to move for zoning to play in high school hockey. So I ended up playing basketball instead, and that worked out pretty well. But no, hockey's like my true passion, man.
Dude,
that was the sport I was about.
I definitely want to have a beer with you.
Yeah, we're watching you on skates. That's impressive.
You're impressive in all aspects. Like, does your mom want to have any more kids? I mean,
whoa, Mikey! Now you're getting beat up. Don't have to, man.
How do you get that good? How do you get that good at everything you do? It makes no sense.
Man, I guess it's kind of growing up in the middle of nowhere and having nothing better to do. So I don't know.
So are you still living in Jacksonville?
Yeah. I'm still in Jacksonville.
Okay, perfect. We're in Tampa, St. Pete, so we will definitely find a way of meeting up and having some fun after you have fun on Saturday night.
Right on, man. It sounds like a plan.
Austin, thank you for your time. I think we have your address. We're going to send you a care package from 8 Man Strong, as well as some cool stuff from Bucked Up Energy Drink as well.
Cool, man. I appreciate you all, man. Thanks for having me on. Stay casual. We'll see you down the road.
Have fun on Saturday. Austin
casual.
Lane back in the octagon. Were you with us in Jacksonville?
Yeah. He's going to be the next bare knuckle guy, because hockey's the original bare knuckle fighter.
Yeah, you're right. And that's a great point.
He'll be a BKFC.
You know what? We should
Hold on a second. You saw where they had fights on skates.
Yeah.
Have you seen that?
No.
Yeah, they've had a couple of those fights where fighters, it was mainly hockey players, fought on skates, and
Yeah, 6'9".
I think Austin's doing okay right now in the UFC.
That dude is so cool.
That's like Peter
Until
Morrell.
you had to ruin it at the end.
What did I do?
I'm trying to have a baby with his mom. You're like, your mom want to have any more babies? Like, dude, Mikey, what are you doing? Because a monster will kill you. I'm afraid for you.
I said that to John Jones once. when he was on my Fighting Word show.
Oh my
I'm like,
God.
I'm like,
Everything was great. It was a great
I'm like,
show. We
you're-
were a great
you're-
team until 13 minutes
your
left.
your brother's got a ring from the Ravens. Your little brother's got a ring from the Patriots. You're the UFC light heavyweight champ. I go, does your mom want to have any more kids? And he goes, Straka.
You better charge up that electric scooter and get out of town.
You know, you talk about hazing and sports and stuff, and I heard the greatest hazing story. And recently we had some firefighters in here on the show, and I